Fun fact about every chemical element. Hydrogen. The most common element in the universe is hydrogen. Your body contains more hydrogen atoms than atoms of any other element. Helium. Although helium is found throughout the universe, it is very rare on Earth because it does not form chemical compounds and its atoms are light enough to escape Earth's gravity and bleed out into space. Lithium. Some people look tough but aren't. Lithium is sadly one of them. Although it is a metal, it is soft enough to cut with a knife. Beryllium is the heaviest element that was formed in the Big Bang. Despite tons of research, we are still not 100% sure whether boron is necessary for human life. It probably is, though. Elemental carbon can take the form of one of the hardest substances, diamond, or one of the softest, graphite. Carbon also has its own field of chemistry, organic chemistry. Every protein has nitrogen in it. Solid and liquid oxygen usually appear in light blue, but it can also appear in red, orange, pink, and black. See pictures. Fluorine is the best at attracting an electron to form a chemical bond. So it readily forms compounds and participates in chemical reactions. This makes it the most electronegative element. Neon is the only element with no stable compounds at STP, standard temperature and pressure. Sir Humphrey Davy was a chemistry genius for a reason. It takes most chemists years or decades to find a new element. After discovering potassium, element 19, he discovered sodium within a few days. If magnesium catches fire, don't use water to put it out. The reaction causes a hydrogen gas or creates hydrogen gas, which is very flammable. Use a Class D fire extinguisher. Aluminum was prized as a precious metal in the 1800s. Napoleon III gave aluminum cutlery to his most honored guests, while the others ate with gold cutlery. The largest word in the English dictionary, 45 letters, is a silicon-based disease. It is called pneumo-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Yes. When white phosphorus contains 4 phosphorus atoms in a tetrahedral arrangement. It has an unpleasant garlic-like odor and is extremely toxic. It is unstable in air, first forming white fumes before bursting into flames. White phosphorus has been called the devil's element because it glows green in the dark and is pyrophoric. The reason the moon Io, moon of Jupiter, is yellow is because of sulfur coming out of its volcanoes. Chlorine is so destructive to the ozone layer that a single molecule of chlorine has the potential to destroy up to 100,000 molecules of ozone. The word argon comes from the Greek word argos, meaning lazy or inactive. Potassium is so reactive that it is not naturally found on its own. Pure potassium has to be stored in oil or kerosene to stop it from reacting, or to keep it from reacting in air. Calcium isn't found free in nature, but it can be purified into a soft, silvery white alkaline earth metal. Despite its name, scandium is more often found in Norway than in Scandinavia. Titanium or its compounds have a variety of uses, including being used for sunscreen, airplanes, white paint, rockets, bicycle frames, mobile phones, and prosthetics. Vanadium wasn't originally going to be called vanadium. Proposed names for element 23 included rhyonium, pancromium, and erythronium. The addition of chromium is the main reason stainless steel is hard and resists corrosion. Manganese is very abundant in soils, occurring in both oxides and hydroxides, according to Lentech. According to the Royal Society of Chemistry, manganese is the 5th most abundant metal in Earth's crust. Manganese is essential to photosynthesis and is used to create oxygen. The single largest use of iron is to make steel, an alloy of iron and a smaller amount of carbon. According to archaeological records from Anatolia, man has been producing steel for at least 4,000 years. In 2014, a crystal was created that pulls oxygen from the air. This crystal had large amounts of cobalt. Nickel-62 is incredibly stable, and extremely far into the future, all other elements and isotopes will eventually become Ni62. Copper is so recyclable that 80% of all the copper that was ever produced is still in use today. Zinc has been identified as one of the few cures for the common cold, as it has been proven that ingesting zinc shortens the length of colds, although too much can be dangerous. Gallium can turn from a solid to a liquid by merely sitting in your hand. It has a melting point of 29.8 Celsius. The average temperature of a human body is 37 Celsius. However, its boiling point is quite high, 2,229 Celsius, making gallium useful in high-temperature thermometers. Germanium was predicted by Dmitry Mendeleev 17 years before its discovery in 1886. He also predicted its density accurately. Many seafoods are high in arsenic. Rice also has a lot of arsenic. Selenium is the only element which is both necessary for human life and toxic for human life. Bromine is harmful to the atmosphere. It is reasonable for up to half the loss of the ozone above the Antarctic. Humans are responsible for about 30% of bromine in the atmosphere. From 1960 to 1984, the meter as a distance unit was officially defined as the distance of a certain number of wavelengths of light produced by burning a certain isotope of krypton. I just want to note here that now I'm going to go silent, and in the comments, let me know which you like better, silent or me speaking. I want to say right here that I meant to type ruthenium, not rubidium. This is ruthenium. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry. Sorry again. Oh, sir. Try not to go too fast. I'm sorry. You can always pause the video, just know that. There are no photos of these elements onwards. I don't want to hit the time limit, so I'm going to need to go pretty quickly through these ones. Sorry. But you can always pause, remember that. I just realized we didn't have it. Sorry about that. Anyway, just pause the video if you can't read it. Anyway, just gonna go through all... No. I'm just gonna go through all of them really quickly. Yes, this counts as really quickly. Anyway, hope you're all well. Remember to let me know whether you preferred the commentary or not. And I will see you for the next video. Bye-bye.